everyone, Mhortai here. I recently competed in the our AWC Cup 4, and I wanted to make a little video about it, about my experience. Um, got started by, it's something I've always wanted to do, but Garrisar, who is the host of Technically PvP, posted in the Discord over there that he wanted to do it, and if there was anybody else that also wanted to give it a go. So of course I responded and definitely wanted to give it a go, and then also Nonix, who was in that Discord as well, responded, and then I talked a little bit about it a little bit, how I was going to do it with them, with my friend Overlord Moon, uh, and we didn't have a fourth, so he ended up being our fourth. So it was a lot of like build up to the event. It wasn't going to be a serious thing for us. It was just going to be something fun for us to do, see how it goes, kind of thing. No big expectations or anything. But yeah, a lot of lead up to it because we didn't know where we were going to be placed, who we were going to be facing the first round, were we going to be put against some big dogs right away, or will it just be someone kind of like us who just was in the cup, maybe just try to get the banner, because you do get a banner for competing. It's a pretty awesome banner as well. The Thundering Banner of the Aspect looks pretty cool. It's pretty unique, so that's an extra perk just for competing. You get that. So that was definitely some motivation there too for us to do that. So yeah, the brackets, just waiting for the brackets to come out, just to see where we are, see where we're going to face, that kind of stuff. So once the brackets actually came out, round one, we were up against a team called the Bog. Uh, their team was made up of Solar, Deadly Sauce, Dirt, and Fire. They just played one comp basically the whole time against us. It was Feral Druid, Disc Priest, Fire Mage. We actually mixed it up a little bit the first round. Tried to get everybody some playtime. We played the first game. We played Overlord Moon was on the Disc Priest. I was on this Assassination Rogue, and Nonix was on the Elemental Shaman. The first game was relatively close. There was a few chances we had at a kill. Unfortunately, we did not get the kill, so we ended up losing that first round. The second game, I didn't actually see how it went because the second game was Overlord Moon and the Disc Priest. Garrisar was in the Affliction Lock, and Nox was in the Elemental Shaman. I was sitting out that game, so I didn't actually see how it goes. But we ended up losing that one as well. Game 3, I did play this one. This was a relatively quick game. Overlord Moon was in the Disc Priest. Garrisar in the Affliction Lock, and I played the Assassination Rogue. Made quite a few mistakes right at the gate, and this game ended pretty quick with them getting a kill. So we were knocked down to the loser bracket right away. The funny thing about that is if we had won this game, we would have been facing Luminosity if we had won in our next round. And if you don't know who Luminosity is, they've been dominating the North American region for a while now. So if we had won, we actually would have been facing literally the best team in North America, like right away, like right off the bat. So that was kind of a daunting thing, but I guess you could say we avoided that by losing. Not that that was the goal, but yeah. So that was round one. So in the second round, we faced a team called Reclub. The team was made up of Satori, Neflar, and Rantigo. They played. So there was just three of them there. They played Balanced Druid, Holy Paladin, and Enhancement Shaman the entire time. So this time, in game one, it was Overlord Moon on the Disc Priest. I was in the Assassination Rogue, and Nonix was on the Elemental Shaman. Our game one went pretty well. We had probably a bunch of opportunities for kills. Didn't end up landing one, unfortunately. But after that match was done, we were just going to switch like we normally did, or like we did in round one. But Garrisar saw how well we played in that match. So he said, just run it back again. You guys did well, see what happens. So the second round, we actually won. We got a kill on the Holy Paladin. and we actually won game 2. So that was pretty exciting. We were pretty pumped up. Actually getting taking a round in the AWC was pretty neat for us. So our confidence was up. Unfortunately, game 3 and 4, we lost those two as well. Um, so uh, games 3 and 4 didn't go as well as the game 2 did. There were still some opportunities for us to get kills in those two the games 3 and 4 as well. It just didn't go our way. So um, looking back at it, even in match 1, uh, or against Reclub, I every time we lost, I died. So I don't know, as a assassination rogue or as a rogue in general, I don't think that probably should have been the case. I was probably being a little too aggressive, lining my healer a little bit too much. So um, yeah, so that's what I took out of that particular round. So we were out, um, unfortunately, after that. So just some final thoughts on everything. This was super enjoyable for me. If I can find people to do it again, I would. It was quite an experience to be on the tournament realm, just having access to the best gear, best everything. Um, you could min max your character to the T, like even PvE gear that had verse and then the stat you wanted on it that you wouldn't have access to at that higher item level unless you were mythic rating or doing super high keys. You had access to, so you could really mix and match your gear. Best in chance. You had access to lariat neck, which in game I wouldn't because I just don't get the mats for it. So that was kind of cool to have a character. I actually did 2 characters. I spent probably a couple hours on each one on the tournament realm setting them up. I had my assassination rogue, which is the only character I actually played, and then I had set up a survival hunter as well. Um, so yeah, it was pretty cool. But just being on that tournament realm and being around, uh, the pro players, just seeing them there. You'd see them. I'm on realms with some of them already, so I see them around every now and then, but not like here where they're just all one place, all in the best gear. People are doing. You just can find to the city area. That's it. So yeah, I would, if you're an AWC fan or a fan of Arena, I would recommend if you can find the time to at least do it once and try competing. It's super fun, even for me, that someone's a career 1800 player. It was super fun for me to do. I actually did better than I thought I would. I thought we were just going to get rolled over every game, but we did make them close for most of in a few matches, and we had that one that we won. So that was pretty cool. Even just things like just the transmog even as well. You have access to like pretty much everything, like even some things that you don't have access to in the normal retail game. Like for instance, my hunter was set up as a survival hunter, but my weapon was actually the Frostborn was transmogged onto my weapon. So that was kind of cool just to be able to see some transmog that you wouldn't have access to normally um, on retail. Even just things like rogues. If you're say you're an outlaw rogue, you can transmog your one-handed swords into glaives, which you can't do on retail, even though you can equip them normally if you just have the weapons, but you can't transmog them onto current weapons. So just things like that are pretty cool. But overall, I mean, it was pretty seamless to go through uh, the transition, setting up matches and stuff. We didn't have any issues communicating with the teams we had to fight against, so that was cool. Just watching some of the qualifiers in the past, I've seen some streams people having trouble communicating or finding their team, or maybe their team doesn't even show up. So we didn't have that problem. We were able to find both our teams pretty quick, do our matches in good time frame, and that was it. Uh, Unfortunately, we lost both, but I guess again, the as I mentioned this before, looking back, I was the person that died in all but one of the matches I played in. Um, so I think I have to take that into consideration just for my overall play, because I don't think as a rogue I should have been dying every time. Actually, I'm pretty sure I know I'm not supposed to. So, but yeah, again, if you have the chance, do this. Um, I mean, we got a cool Super Bowl banner out of it that I can show people. It gets people's attention. I've been using it quite a bit. So yeah, so that's my overall thoughts and everything. So yeah, hope you Hope this gives you some insight on what's going on. It's not super in depth or anything like that, but there is some. If you're listening to this, the footage in the background of this as well is also from the matches that we played. So yeah, thanks for watching.
How it's supposed to feel.
Never break, always fight, never quit, do it right, play the game.